Welcome to the McGill family trip to Ireland. We all went there in order to be able to celebrate what would have been Dad's 100th birthday in Ardra, where he was born. Don and I went to the Philadelphia Zoo first, and we spent the day there to have dinner with our friends at night. As we walked through the city, Franklin Park had a beautiful Chinese lantern exhibition, and here is the beautiful fountain that was in the middle of Franklin Park. We walked over to the Reading Terminal to have our favorite lunch, turkey breast with stuffing and cranberry sauce on sourdough bread. Oh, so very yummy. We went to Independence Hall and took a break at the park there, which is beautiful. Later, we got to the zoo, and here in Big Cat Falls, we got to see the Lego lion exhibit. As we were walking through the zoo, we were fortunate enough to see the sloth bear playing up in the tree. I know it looks like he's stuck up there, but he's not. He's just having a lot of fun. Later that night, we all met at Jack's in the city, and there's Sharon, Tina, and Terry with us, and we had a great time seeing old friends. It was really wonderful. Saturday night, we left for Dublin Airport, and we got there Sunday morning. We met our bus driver and went right to Belfast to our very first stop. On the way, the scenery all through Ireland is beautiful. Green patches, old farmhouses, sheep, cows, horses. Really was beautiful. I'll tell you, you could just lower your blood pressure. It was so nice. We arrived at St. Patrick's Cathedral. Now, this is not the one in New York, obviously. This is the one where he's actually buried. And it's a beautiful cathedral. And, of course, Don is beautiful, too, but saying, don't take my picture. The cemetery in the back is obviously quite old. And as we looked at some of the different headstones there, we caught the background, and we managed to find a place where we could get the view. What a beautiful view from the cemetery. Of course, the people there can't really appreciate it. And here is the tomb of St. Patrick himself. Nothing but Patrick written on that slab. And next to it is this explanatory plaque. We arrived in a very modern hotel in the middle of Belfast, and there's the view from our window of the city. It was such a nice hotel, it really spoiled us. And right down the street was this beautiful city hall. The next day, we went to the Titanic Museum, which is where we could see how they built the ship. Here we are at the base camp for the Giant's Causeway. You can see the scenery is just really, really beautiful. And speaking of beautiful, there's Donna. We took a walk up the pathway. Unfortunately, it started to rain really hard, and neither one of us liked that. And here is a panoramic view. You can see of the mountains up on the left, and as we go across, that's the pathway leading back down to the base camp. So the weather was kind of on and off. Fortunately, it cleared up a little bit while we were up there. Here are the beautiful cliff sides, and here's another shot of the pathway leading back down to the base camp. There we are, Donna and myself, in front of those hexagonal-shaped rocks, which are all over the place. And here's a view from a little higher up. It was just beautiful. There was a pathway that people could walk literally right up the mountainside. And here we are looking over the North Atlantic Ocean. Here's another good shot of those rocks, and people were climbing up on the right side. So as Donna was taking pictures of everything, of course, I had to climb. So here I am up there, and who's that down there? Oh, look, it's Donna. Hello, sweetheart. Next day, we went to Glenveigh Castle. Here's Mert, our bus driver, arranging for things. He was great. In the town, we saw the Guildhall, and we took a rest stop there. And here's a peace flame that was lit by Martin Luther King III, that is. In Derry, we got an explanation of Bloody Sunday and the murals and the memorials set up for all the people that died at that terrible event. Here we are now at Glenveigh Castle. It was a beautiful castle. It's actually not a castle, it's a home. And here we're waiting for the guided tour to take us through. In the meantime, we got to explore a little bit. Here's a view from one of the towers. And later, we saw the gardens. They didn't let us take any pictures inside because of all the original artworks, but the gardens are beautiful. And everything was in bloom. It was really great to see all of that wonderful flora. And the views are just fantastic. Even the local wildlife came out to take a look-see. On the way back, we had a rest stop in the town, and here's a local pub that we commandeered. 28 people jumping in at once. The hotels are quaint and beautiful and clean, and it had a nice view of the little place behind it. And here we are all together for dinner. The next day, we went to Sleeve Cliffs, and we went to Ardara because on Monday, I'm sorry, on Wednesday was the celebration of their dad's birthday. Here Don and I at the cliffs, and here's a panoramic view of the Sleeve League cliffs, which were absolutely gorgeous. Again, there were pathways up the mountain. People could climb almost to the top. Just unbelievable. 1,000 miles or so in that direction you're looking at now is New York City. And then as we go further left, County Sligo and County Mayo. Here we are with Colette, Kathleen, Sandra, and friend Ann. There's Donna with Maureen and Carmel and Fidelma in the background. Brenda talking to Colette. All of the cousins got together. Sandra and Colette came from Canada to meet us, and here we have all of the McGill cousins together. Next day was the Knox Shrine in Galway. The Knox Shrine is where 3 people appeared. Mary and 2 other historical figures from the Bible appeared to people as an apparition. Here is the actual place where they appeared, the shrine itself. And later, after this, we went to the gardens, which were beautifully kept. Our hotel room, again, quaint, clean, very nice, and a beautiful view. We went out of there that day a little early, got to explore. Here's a river flowing under the bridge leading into Galway. And here's a shopping street in Galway, unbelievably packed with people and restaurants. And we finally ended up here in the city square. Our last day was at Gallimore Abbey. Now here's the pathway up to Gallimore Abbey. You see that little white spot there? Well, look, it's actually a shrine. People would climb up the mountain to pray at that shrine. At the Abbey, Don and I chose to go to the gardens, of course. Beautiful walled-in gardens. Look how great they look. They're just absolutely perfect. And there were flowers and herbs and trees. And we were so happy to see that it was full of life. Even the bees were busily active. Finally, we ended up in Cong, where the Quiet Man movie was shot. Here's an ancient church in Cong that we got to see. This house is a replica of the one where the man was dying, but he heard the fight and got out and came back to life. The museum has the bedroom scene in it, and it looks just like the thatched cottage that they lived in. Here, this bridge is where the bishop left, and everybody cheered for him at the end of the movie. And the beautiful river. Oh, look, there's something there. What is that? It's a beautiful trumpeter swan. They even had a statue in there that was commissioned as a gift and done by a local artist. At the final rest stop, Don and I took our last break and had our last meal in Ireland. What a great trip we had. 28 family members in a bus for over 1,000 miles through 3 hotels, and we just enjoyed every minute of it. Don and I intend to go back one day. Until then, thank you for being here. Goodbye.